goodness, wait till you see Lady Pool. She is gorgeous. She just had a baby too, and
Did Ryan Reynolds troll Justin Baldoni in Deadpool and Wolverine?
They are absolute bullies. Justin Baldoni, still a psycho.
Justin Baldoni is making his legal battle against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds more public.
How's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
A little while back, Ryan Reynolds, the guy from Deadpool, was signing some autographs, right? Cool. Psych, not cool. Because, see, Ryan Reynolds had a problem.
Hollywood's beloved couple, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, are at the center of unexpected controversy. Allegations, leaked messages, and legal disputes involving Justin Baldoni have raised questions about their public image. Speculation has emerged about whether this is a power struggle or part of a larger Hollywood dispute. A discussion on Kennedy Saves the World referenced claims about Reynolds' behavior on the Deadpool 2 set, including a studio executive's statement that he was challenging to work with. The executive also alleged that Reynolds was upset when a makeup artist did not return for reshoots.
No offense to you, it's just the glasses. They're a lot. I like them. So here's what the host of this podcast, I guess it's called Kennedy Saves the World, has to say about Ryan Reynolds on set. Have a listen to this.
Shines her billionaire-esque light. She got sick of Blake Lively using her for attention and to intimidate people. And Ryan Reynolds, by all accounts, seems like a great guy. He is acting. By all accounts, he is a total pain in the ass. I heard a story yesterday of a studio executive who was so frustrated with him when they were shooting Deadpool 2 because Ryan Reynolds had to do some reshoots for the movie. His makeup artist was out of the country working. Ryan Reynolds threatened to fire the makeup artist off the rest of the film and the reshoots they had to do, and also said, if you don't come back and do my makeup for these reshoots, you will never work in Hollywood again. He's one of those guys. So they are absolute bullies. Justin Baldoni, still a psycho.
The podcast also mentioned Justin Baldoni's claims that he is no different from Blake and Ryan. However, these statements lack strong credibility and remain a topic of debate among audiences.
I guess the deal is, and I'm not defending Ryan Reynolds, but is it a makeup artist, like someone who puts a little blush on you, or is it like someone who's doing your full body makeup and all of that if you're in one of these action movies with all of the stuff? I don't know. I don't know the full story, so I'm not going to judge deeply on this anecdotal piece of evidence, but now she's going to tear into Justin Baldoni. I guess she's all these guys are messed up.
I do believe that he was like, Blake Lively, I have dreams about your dead dad. And this is what he tells me. That's so gross and weird and manipulative, even if it's true. It's so just, this movie somehow was a magnet for awful people that happened to make a ton of money.
Now, I wouldn't claim to know what Justin Baldoni actually said or the context behind it. They've kind of alluded to it, but also, how can you trust what Blake Lively has to say that Justin said, considering she's mischaracterized multiple other things that he said? You know what I mean?
In the end, Justin Baldoni, who cares? No one knew who he was beforehand. Everyone knows who he is now. If he is a smart sociopath, he'll work that to his advantage.
Speculation has surfaced that Ryan Reynolds may have included subtle references to Justin Baldoni in Deadpool and Wolverine. Some fans believe the character Nice Pool was inspired by Baldoni, though this remains unconfirmed. With their ongoing legal dispute, discussions have arisen about whether this was intentional or purely coincidental. While interpretations vary, audiences continue to debate possible connections, keeping the conversation around the film and the rumored feud alive.
In a lawsuit obtained by E! News, Justin makes claims against Ryan Reynolds, saying that the actor aggressively berated Baldoni during a meeting at their penthouse in New York, accusing him of fat-shaming Lively. Now, given the accusations, fans have been circulating this moment from Ryan's latest film, Deadpool and Wolverine, in which Blake makes a cameo as Lady Deadpool, but it's the character of Nice Pool, a self-identifying feminist, that fans are looking to as a potential real-life parallel to Justin.
But in here, everybody calls me Nice Pool.
oh my goodness, wait till you see Lady Pool. She is gorgeous. She just had a baby too, and can't even tell.
I don't think you're supposed to say that.
That's okay.
I identify as a feminist.
Right.
According to IMDb, Deadpool and Wolverine was filmed between May of 2023 and January of 2024, while It Ends With Us was shot between April of 2023 and May of 2024, meaning the two films were in production simultaneously.
As discussions surrounding Justin Baldoni, Ryan Reynolds, and Blake Lively continue, many are questioning the difference between celebrities' public and private personas. The ongoing controversy has sparked debates about their reputations, with each facing public scrutiny. While the full impact remains uncertain, these discussions may influence their careers moving forward. As audiences analyze the situation, the lasting effects on their professional lives and public perception will likely continue to be a topic of interest.
And Blake Lively, her brand, Ryan Reynolds' brand, have totally been tarnished by this because the world now sees them for who they are. They cannot act their way out of this. Once people have seen behind the curtain.
Since Candace Owens covered the controversy, some have framed it as a political issue. Megyn Kelly's interview with Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, added to this perspective. However, independent pop culture commentators argue that the case goes beyond politics, focusing instead on media narratives and Hollywood's power dynamics, sparking broader discussions across different audiences.
Actually, even before, Megyn Kelly had Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's attorney, on her show because Megyn Kelly has a relationship with Brian since he represented her in her famous NBC, I believe it was NBC, I can't remember now, lawsuit. And that immediately became a thing, right? Oh my gosh, Megyn Kelly, who, that's the conversation. She's against women. She is a super right-wing, conservative woman. Look at who Justin Baldoni is getting connected to. Look at who is championing Justin. And then, of course, Candace Owens started talking about it. And then the other person who is mentioned in that article is Brett Cooper, who is a young conservative, also YouTuber. But what Taylor likes to do, and I don't follow Taylor like all the time at all. I definitely do not follow her on social media because I don't really enjoy her content, to be 100%. But I find that she really likes to call out anyone that doesn't align with her values, and her values tend to be more on the far left liberal side. And what I don't like about this narrative is that I have not seen this to be solely a right-wing led, conversation. Everyone I follow that covers pop culture is talking about this. You, me, Zach Peter.
As tensions rose, Justin Baldoni claimed to have text messages from Ryan Reynolds, allegedly showing pressure to adjust his film schedule and hints about career consequences. Baldoni's lawyer is expected to present these messages, sparking further discussion. While the situation remains uncertain, these claims have fueled ongoing debates about Hollywood dynamics and professional relationships.
One text attributed to Ryan reads, quote, "All this to say, I'd have your line producer's face tattooed to my perineum if he, she, they could figure out how to start 2 weeks earlier. Completely understand how big of an ask that is, but the perineum is one of the most nervy parts of the human body to expose to trauma, so..." In exchange to showcasing his trademark sense of humor, Ryan also uses in the exchange a term often stated on Blake's past show, Gossip Girl. The text, according to the filing, reads, quote, "Looking forward to seeing you and thank you again for all you're doing. I happen to adore you, Justin. XO. E! News has reached out to lawyers for Justin, Blake, and Ryan and has not heard back. Days after Blake filed her December 31st lawsuit, Justin's attorney Brian Friedman confirmed they plan to countersue the actress and release every single text message between the two of them. In her lawsuit, Blake accuses Justin of sexually inappropriate behavior towards her and retaliation by working with a crisis PR team to try to destroy her reputation. Through his lawyer, Justin denied Blake's allegations and filed a $400 million lawsuit against her and her husband for alleged extortion, defamation, and other alleged wrongdoing.
Questions have emerged about Blake Lively's PR strategy, particularly her reported decision to work with a former intelligence professional. Some speculate there may be efforts to limit discussions on the case, citing reports of social media, restrictions on creators mentioning Lively. This has drawn comparisons to past controversies, where online conversations faced similar challenges during high-profile celebrity disputes.
I always say, what's the saying? If when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. If you do not believe and follow every rule they have, you get labeled as far right, Nazi sympathy. I mean, crazy alt-right stuff. And it's like, look, like you said, there's plenty of, you can make the argument that, by following this case and holding Blake Lively accountable, you're helping women. This isn't hurting women by exposing someone who possibly took advantage of a movement where women are wanted to be believed. It's helping real victims by going, you know what? You can't just get away with this without any of the evidence that backs it up.
Yeah, it's strange that they have taken this kind of side of, I believe, in order to believe women. And for the most part, you would think that if you are a liberal person, right? I mean, I'm not someone that follows the rules in that way at all. I don't believe that in order to be a liberal, you have to believe women. And if you are conservative, you don't believe that doesn't make any sense to me. I am someone that is very independent in my thought process. And because of that, people align me with, actually, they think I am MAGA because I don't align myself with super left wing. I'm immediately MAGA.
Media outlets like Business Insider have explored how much independent creators earn from covering the controversy. Critics argue that traditional journalists rarely face the same scrutiny, raising concerns about fairness. Many believe the focus should remain on justice and the case itself rather than financial aspects, highlighting broader discussions about media narratives and credibility.
So Blake's a new CIA guy. Is this something do you think is happening where content creators are going to be silenced or
Well, I already saw it personally myself. I mean, I literally already saw it, and I'm speaking to Billy Bush next week about this. Like, it's truly a conversation that needs to be had. I noticed a few things happening to my account last week on Instagram that have never happened in all my years speaking out like loudly about all kinds of things. I mean, I'm an outspoken person. I speak about anti-Semitism. I speak about world news. I speak about all kinds of things. And never before have I been in Instagram jail until I spoke about Blake Lively. I mean, what in the world is happening here? And so that happened. I had a reel that my voice went literally silent the second I said her name. Why?
And that's interesting that I wonder if it's easier to push around like Instagram than it is YouTube, because this is like not even a conspiracy. But when the Depp versus Amber Heard coverage was happening,
Candace Owens has claimed that Ryan Reynolds attempted to impact Justin Baldoni's career by influencing Blake Lively and using his industry connections. Allegations suggest Reynolds pushed for schedule changes to distance Lively from Baldoni and allegedly used his influence to damage Baldoni's reputation. These claims remain unverified, sparking ongoing debate about Hollywood power dynamics.
She did not believe, and this is true, Blake, my understanding of her is she's like a true narcissist. She's not very smart. She just wants to be rich and famous and have rich friends, okay? And I had heard that and known that about her since my days that I was working at Glamour magazine, that she was like really mean to people, but she's like very surface. And as long as Ryan's a lot smarter than her, and she therefore allows him to manipulate and control every layer of his life, so long as she can just, be the princess, essentially, okay? So we find out that when she starts getting bad press, and this is a perfect time for Ryan to manipulate her, in my opinion, she's like, well, he's like, probably like, babe, this can't be because you're not amazing. Look at you. You're hot. You're sexy. You're perfect. Give me your phone. I'm going to draft a statement that Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer have to read, because the public noticed that her press appearances were weird. They found her to not be deep at all. They didn't like that she was promoting her hair products. They didn't like that she was not taking the theme of domestic violence seriously. And then they found these old videos of her. And they didn't believe this. So they gave them the opportunity, basically put a gun to their head and said, this is a statement that we want you to read. Essentially, Ryan demanded that Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer lie to the public to save Blake's reputation.
With Ryan Reynolds' significant influence in Hollywood, some speculate about the potential impact on Justin Baldoni's career. Reports suggest Reynolds may have privately advised studios and agencies against working with Baldoni, though these claims remain unverified. If true, this would raise concerns about industry power dynamics and how high-profile figures can potentially influence others' professional opportunities.
So this is like why I love this lawsuit, because this is an insight to the public that everything you read is BS. They just lie. Like literally, we are just being lied to, right? There's somebody behind the scenes who's being a little psycho. They want to control public thoughts. They want to control public minds. And they are basically like, you're going to read this statement with a gun to your head, even though this has been a terrible thing. And even though it is our fault, we have been awful to you. We've been threatening this movie every step of the way to get what Blake Lively wants and really what Ryan wants more than anything else, having you move dates. We've been a pain in the ass, but you're going to take it on the chin because you wrote a book and have a podcast about being man enough. I mean, and fortunately, they said, no, we're not reading this. This is a lie. We're not going to tell the public this, that the reason we're separated was like agreed upon mutually. It wasn't agreed upon mutually. You came at them with a figurative gun to their head and you put his family in the basement. I'm sorry the public noticed, because the reality is these Hollywood types, they think we are all stupid. We are so dumb. All they need is a PR machine and the right reporter at the Hollywood Reporter and the right reporter at the Daily Mail and Page Six, whatever it is, and they'll tell us what to think. This is how their brains work, okay?
Justin Baldoni has launched a website sharing lawsuit details and making his evidence public. He claims Ryan Reynolds influenced "It Ends With Us" marketing and pressured his production company to take responsibility for any negative reception. These allegations have sparked further discussions about industry dynamics and accountability.
So by Blake suing Justin, his career gets ruined. Blake and Ryan get the rights so they can shoot a sequel to the movie. They get full control, no problem. And the New York Times basically teamed up with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds to ruin Justin's reputation. Now, I know actors suing each other for their reputation may seem stupid, and it kind of is, but you got to understand, to celebrities of this caliber especially, their reputation really is everything. They got products outside of this. If you don't like them, then you don't buy their product outside of this. They lose out on millions. They also lose out on acting roles. Their careers are basically ruined. So they're suing each other for millions. Blake suing Justin, Justin suing Blake and Ryan. So people said, okay, this is a he said, she said thing. We don't know who to believe. But like I told you earlier, this story is deeper than it seems. Justin comes out and says, this. How about I prove I'm right? And they're all lying. And here's where things start to get wickeder. He comes out with receipts. In fact, he has so many receipts. He made a website of all of his receipts. He said, yo, go ahead and go check that out. He begins to meticulously break down all of her claims.
A noticeable absence at this year's Oscars sparked discussions among fans and industry watchers. Certain celebrities and filmmakers were not in attendance, leading to speculation about scheduling conflicts, personal choices, or other commitments that may have influenced their decision to skip the prestigious event.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds chose to sit out the 2025 Oscars, opting not to attend Hollywood's biggest night amidst the ongoing legal dispute with Justin Baldoni. The Gossip Girl actress, who has recently criticized Baldoni's shameless legal battle with the New York Times, and her husband also decided to skip both the SAG Awards and Golden Globes earlier this year. Despite their absence from the Oscars, the couple made an unexpected appearance at the SNL 50th anniversary event last month, where Reynolds faced criticism for making light of the lawsuit. In December 2024, Lively accused Baldoni of orchestrating a smear campaign against her. In response, Baldoni filed a $400 million lawsuit against Lively, Reynolds, and their publicist, Leslie Sloan. Though the couple missed the 97th Academy Awards, Reynolds' 2024 movie Deadpool and Wolverine was referenced during Conan O'Brien's opening monologue.
The controversy intensified when Ryan Reynolds was seen in what some speculate was a publicity move amid ongoing legal discussions. Meanwhile, Blake Lively's claims against Justin Baldoni, including alleged comments about her weight, have sparked debate. Baldoni maintains that any weight-related inquiries were solely for safety concerns in a specific scene, adding further complexity to the ongoing discussions.
Ryan Reynolds is one of the wealthiest actors of all time, but now he could be using that money to go to war with Justin Baldoni. Ryan Reynolds has made a fortune outside of acting, making $280 million off the sale of Mint Mobile, $122 million off the sale of Aviation Gin. He also made $75 million from the Deadpool movies. For over a decade, he's been married to Blake Lively, who's currently going through a PR crisis. Blake Lively, after a 5-year break from acting, just had a massive hit with It Ends With Us, which made $326 million on a budget of $25 million. Despite the success, Blake Lively had a feud with the movie's director and also her co-star Justin Baldoni because he asked how much she weighed. It wasn't meant to be an insult, it was just that Justin Baldoni has a back issue and wasn't sure he could lift her for a scene he had to pick her up. That was just one of the countless fights the two actors had, to the point they hated each other and refused to do any marketing together. That's why many people believe Blake Lively will be fired from the planned sequel called It Starts With Us, which is based on the popular book which sold 1.8 million copies. The issue is Justin Baldoni and his studio don't have the rights to that book yet. So there are talks going on Ryan Reynolds might buy the rights to that book to kick Justin Baldoni out and keep Blake Lively in. So money matters, and with that I'm Charles Pearl. Please subscribe to learn something.
Many are now questioning whether Blake Lively's lawsuit against Justin Baldoni was affected by Ryan Reynolds' involvement. Reports of behind-the-scenes influence have led some to reassess the situation. Legal analysts suggest that if these claims gain traction, they could potentially impact the strength of Lively's case moving forward.
No one realized that Blake Lively's lawsuit was ruined by Ryan Reynolds. With a series of leaked texts and media coverage, it seemed like Blake was gaining the upper hand in the lawsuit, but she seems to have forgotten that Ryan was behind the scenes the whole time. He even forcefully rewrote parts of the script for It Ends With Us. If Ryan had any contact with the production team, how could he let Blake fall into such a situation and ignore it? This might be the biggest loophole in the evidence she presented, and Ryan has remained silent on the matter. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni used 3 methods to sabotage the lawsuit. First, Baldoni hired a team to leverage Blake's fame and manipulate public opinion, casting doubt on the legitimacy of her lawsuit. Second, he seized on Colleen Hoover's public support for Blake on social media, using Blake's past controversies to undermine the credibility of her legal claims. Finally, he capitalized on Gina Rodriguez's support to reinforce his own image of integrity. Public opinion is on the brink of collapse.
A judge has combined all lawsuits related to the controversy and issued a media gag order. However, Justin Baldoni's public release of evidence has already shaped public discussions, adding pressure to Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. Reports suggest Taylor Swift, a close friend of Lively, may be creating distance to avoid potential backlash, though no official statements have been made.
This in the media, we finna have some problems. Because the thing is, the jury has to decide all of this, and juries could be influenced by things they see in the media, which is absolutely true, because Justin basically released all of the evidence, and it looks really bad on Blake. So jury people walking in are just probably going to be like, guilty. Guilty, 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 guilty. So Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds look like they have no chance of winning this. And to be fair, looking at the evidence myself, they look pretty guilty. And remember when I told you that happens with celebrities like this when their reputations get ruined? Their careers get ruined. That's why Taylor Swift had to come out and distance herself from Blake Lively, say, I don't know what they chatting on about. I ain't got nothing to do with that. And again, that's why Ryan had to come out and allegedly do this whole thing with paparazzi, saying, what? I'm good. Side note, look at bro right here. You look like you don't want to be there. But to me, this picture also speaks on the word celebrity and where it's ended up all these years. See, back in my day, nobody would question Ryan signing autographs. This whole drama would be front page news. I was watching a news segment about this thing, and the anchor said, are you team Ryan or are you team Justin? The comments were like, yo, people aren't here for all the chatter, the glitz and glamour of celebrity. People would rather see the person rather than their status. You get me? And if Ryan understood that, he wouldn't have done this whole paparazzi thing. He'd have realized there could have been 10,000 people here asking for his autograph, but nobody would care.
This controversy continues to evolve, with new discussions emerging about industry power dynamics, PR strategies, and media narratives. Whether Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, and Justin Baldoni can move past this remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. Hollywood's carefully crafted public images are facing increased scrutiny. As more details unfold, the conversation around these high-profile figures only grows. What are your thoughts on this situation? Share your opinions in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. We'll keep you informed as new information becomes available. Stay tuned.